What is up, guys? We are back with another lorcana video. Basically, I've been playing with my Frozen Control Elsa deck, and it's a little bit too slow, guys. I've been taking a lot of L's here, so I decided to switch over here to BLURPLE. Lion King and Frozen are two of my favorite Disney movies, so I decided we have to try out this Mufasa and Elsa BLURPLE deck. We are testing it out here, and I'm facing against a Ruby Emerald deck. And a shout outs to DPI Matt, who allowed me to record this video and to put it up on YouTube. Yeah, so he's actually using a very similar deck to Speci. Shout out to Speci. If you guys know him, he's like an amazing Lorcana player, one of my favorite content creators for Lorcana. And we're just talking about his deck here, and it is inspired by Speci using Robin Hood and a lot of these Shimmering Skies set 5 cards for his deck. So that's the deck that my opponent's playing, and I am playing a Blurple deck, so Sapphire and Amethyst, and we are gonna see how this goes. I'm missing a lot of cards here, so I still don't have any Merlin Rabbits. We don't have any Merlin Rabbits in the deck, and I ordered them. They're on the way, but right now we're just kind of testing and having fun with the deck and just seeing how it does here. But I still did want to try it out on Pixelborn Connect and just see how it plays. I think we did all of our mulligans, and we are about to get started here. So I don't know. We're still talking about Speci. No, I didn't even do my mulligans yet. Did he mulligan already? I think maybe he didn't either. So I'm going to mulligan 4 cards there. I think he also mulligans 4. Yeah, I kind of remember that happening. And then we shuffle back up. And yeah, I'm going to put the deck list in the description of this video. So if you guys are interested in it, you can check it out. I don't recommend it because, like I said, this deck is incomplete. I am going to put that incomplete version in the description. So we don't have the 4 Merlin Rabbits, which is a really, really good card, especially for playing Amethyst Sapphire. We have 0 copies of them, so they're not in the deck. But eventually, I do want to add that and make some other upgrades as well. So for our main draw power, because we don't have the rabbits, we're going with Hiram Flaversham. And if you guys know, that card's a really good card for Sapphire. If I play him and whenever he quests, I can banish an item to draw 2 cards. But unfortunately, we don't have that many items in the deck. So we do have the 4 Popsicles, and we also have 2 Amethyst Chromicons for some extra draw power. So yeah, I'm just kind of playing around the deck and we'll see how it goes. And I love my opponent's mat there with the Stitch. So that's really cool. So I ink an Elsa 5th Spirit, and then I exert 1 ink to play a Popsicle. And then we can draw a card when a Popsicle enters play, and I pass over to my opponent. So I think that's a pretty solid start here, especially playing Sapphire to get an item out like that on turn 1. He inks in Maui, and he plays Diablo. So whenever you play a Diablo, you can look at the opponent's hand. So he sees my entire hand. You guys can also see my hand. I got a Tipo there in the hand, which is really good, and I also have the Flaversham. And the Tipo, we want to have 4 copies in the deck. I currently only have 2, so we're only running 2, and I got really lucky to be able to get that with the mulligan. So he passes, I draw for turn. I ink a hero. I think I drew another hero there, so that's why I inked 1. And then I exert 2 to play Tipo, of course. So when you play Tipo, you can put a card from your hand into your Inkwell face down and exerted, and it could be any card, right? Even a non-inkable card. So I get another extra ink now. Now I'm up to 3 ink, which is really big ramp on turn 2, and then I pass over back to my opponent. And we're talking about the discard stuff because he is playing Speci's deck, and Speci's deck is crazy oppressive with a bunch of discarding and stuff. It looks really fun to pilot, not that fun to play against. So I'm pretty worried about that. He inks a location here. He did make some changes to the deck that he says makes it feel a little bit more smooth. And he uses 2 ink to play Flynn Rider and then Diablo Quest for 1. So it's up to 1 lore. I ready up, draw for turn. And then, let's see, what am I thinking here? I think I'm considering playing a Hiram here to get more card draw. But when I play against Emerald, I'm always scared to draw a bunch of cards because I know that they can discard a bunch of cards from me. So I ink a Churna Box. I think I just drew that Churna Box. And I exert 4. I think I do play the Hiram here. Yeah. So when I play him and whenever he quests, I can banish an item. So I'm going to banish an item right now and then draw 2 with this effect. And I think I can't do anything else here. So I probably pass. I may challenge with the Tipo. Diablo is 1-2 and Tipo is 1-2, so they can't take each other out. But if he gets a lot of lore, I don't want to just let him build that up. So I think I do, yeah, I challenge 1 into the Diablo there, and I pass back over to my opponent. And then he draws for turn, and he's going to ink an Ursa. Okay, so he didn't play it there. Oh, because he knows my hand, I don't have any songs, so there's no point playing that. And he plays a Prince John for 3 ink. And Prince John, I am so scared of that card. I only actually recently like saw it whenever Spessy played it, but Prince John is crazy nasty to play against. Whenever you discard a card like the opponent, the person that plays the Prince John or has a Prince John can draw a card. And my opponent just quest there for 2 more, so they go up to 3. And then did they actually Flynn Rider quest for 2? Actually, he should actually be at 4 lore there, I think. And I think he might have missed that, and I'm only realizing that right now. So yeah, it's okay. I don't think the 1 lore mattered in this game, so I think that's okay. So I exert 4 and I play a Queen's Castle there, so I got a location up. Emerald has a lot of weak characters. He does have Maui in the deck, right? Because it's a Ruby deck, but I think Queen's Castle can really hold its own weight there. And I ink in Elsa, I exert 1, so I can move a character to the Queen's Castle. Queen's Castle will gain me 2 passive lore every single turn. If I have a character there and it survives at start of turn, I can draw an extra card. So I move Hiram there. I think he has a little more survivability than the Teeple. I think I'm thinking about challenging the Hiram into the Diablo, because my opponent doesn't have too much damage. So I should go ahead and do that, because they're still on 3 inks, so they can't play Mal yet. And Tipo is going to quest here for 1. And I'm trying to bait my opponent to attack me, because if they challenge me, then they won't quest. And they seem to be a very high questing type of a deck. Just from what I've seen, especially he quests very high. And I show my hand. I think I have 4 cards in hand. And I remember saying this is what Spessy does. That's kind of where I got that from. Yeah. So, see, my opponent's probably thinking what they're going to do, I think. So I think they want to either take out Hiram or take out the Queen's Castle, so I don't get that card draw. That's probably going to be the best thing for them. Because they ink a Sudden Chill and they played Ursula, so they get to see my hand and discard a song. And I don't have any songs. Yeah, I think this deck we run 4 Friends on the Other Side and then 3 Let It Goes. So those are our only songs. We have 7. And if I'm playing Emerald, I want to ink those songs and get rid of them, because I don't want to discard them from Ursula. They're not pivotal songs or anything like that, so I definitely don't want to hold it. He quests with Flynn here for 2. I think he does the 2 correctly this time, and he goes up to 5, and it's my turn. So he could not take out the Hiram. So I gain 2 passive over the Queen's Castle. I draw for turn and draw for the Queen's Castle's effect, because I have a character there at the start of my turn, which is huge. So my hand is pretty big now. I think we had 4 cards in hand, so we probably have like 6 now with 5 ink to play with. So let's see, I think I'm probably thinking about what to do. I'm pretty new to this deck, so I think a lot of the stuff, a lot of decisions, I have a lot of trouble deciding what to do there. So I ink a Bruni, and we're up to 6 ink now, which is really good. And then I'm going to do 3 to play a Mickey, so I'm ramping even harder here. So whenever Mickey enters play, I can put the top card of my deck into my Inkwell Exerted, so I get another ink. And I remember what I do here. I'm actually telling him, and he's like laughing, because I'm feeling really greedy, and I want to play another Mickey from my hand just to ramp it even harder. I look at his ink, organized ink, his lore. He has 5 lore right now, so it's not that much. I feel like I can take 1 extra turn to do more ramping right now, and then I'll control his board the next turn. So I actually do it. I play the second Mickey. I get another card from top of my deck into an Inkwell. So now I have 8 ink. They are all exerted, but next turn that ink will be ready back up, and I can spend it all. And I'll play a bunch of cards in my hand, because I have a lot of cards in my hand. And then if I challenge a Flynn Rider, I have to discard a card from my hand. So I don't want to do that, because all my characters have low strength. So I think do I quest here? Yeah, I quest for 2, and then I pass to my opponent. So we'll see what they do. And I think Maui is kind of their only big way to get rid of the Queen's Castle, playing Ruby and Emerald. So we'll see what they draw here. So my opponent is thinking what they want to do, and I am scared to discard a card, because every single time I discard, that Prince John will allow my opponent, to draw a card. And that is the worst thing ever, to not only lose a card, but then they get to draw a card. And Prince John has Ward as well, so I cannot target it for any effects. I have to defeat it in a challenge. That's kind of the only way to get rid of it, or play something like a Be Prepared. But since I'm no longer playing Ruby, I don't have access to Be Prepared anymore. So they're going to brawl my Hiram and banish a character with 2 attack or less. So he's gone. I won't get the card draw anymore at the Queen's Castle. I think for future plays, I don't want to put Hiram at the Queen's Castle, because he's a big target to brawl away, right? So I probably want to put another character like Tipo, who's not that big of a target after he's on play. And my opponent quests here for 3, so they go up to 8 lore, and they pass, I think, yeah. So it's back over to me. I'm not sure how many cards my opponent has in hand. I think he has like 1 or 2. So I'm feeling really good right now. I have a bunch of cards in hand. I have 8 ink. We get our pass lore with the Queen's Castle. And then I'm gonna have Mickey sing Friends on the other side. I draw 2 cards with Friends. And one thing I learned now is that whenever we have a character sing songs, we like to exert them and put the song on top of the card. That's kind of what the pro players do there. So I'm just kind of copying that. So I put the Friends on top of the Mickey, and then I draw 2. So I spend 4 ink here to play another Queen's Castle. I must have drawn into it there. So now, I mean, my opponent's having enough trouble getting rid of 1 Queen's Castle, but now there's 2, so I'm getting 4 passive lore every single turn. I think I'm going to ramp up really hard here. Um, I quest, I think, with the Teeple. And I think at this point in the game, I'm kind of thinking, wait a minute. My deck might be able to gain more lore quicker right now. So I play a Madam Fox, I bounce the Teeple back to my hand with Madam Fox's effect, and Madam Fox has Rush, so I challenge into the Ursula, take a damage, but the Fox stays alive. And then I don't want to do the Flynn Rider because I have to discard a card if I do that. I still want to keep on the cards in my hand. And then, yeah, I think what I'm thinking about right now is, wait a minute, I can kind of gun lore quickly right now. Maybe I can like hit 20 in like 2 turns or so. So should I try to like quest more right now and just ignore his board? Because usually I'm used to playing Hyper Control. So I play Popsicle for 1 ink. Popsicle, whenever I play, I can draw a card. And I think I just ink something else here. So I ink a Popsicle. Okay, so I remember I drew the Popsicle with the Popsicle. And then I think I'm going to move someone to location, right? I think I also had a Chernobog, so I was trying to decide if I should play it for 1 ink or just move someone. I think I ended up spending 1 ink, and what do we do? Yeah, I'm going to move the Mickey to the Queen's Castle, and then Mickey will quest for 1. Yeah, and then I pass over to my opponent. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think actually the Chernobog might have been the better play. I have 3 cards in hand. I'm just showing my opponent. Because if I play Chernobog, I have another body out to quest more, and I think that might actually be a bigger advantage. So we'll see what my opponent does. They are playing a Robin Hood deck, right? With the Ruby Emerald ink colors. I think they're thinking about what they should do. They have 4 ink to my 9, so I'm feeling really good. They have Flint's Sing, Sudden Chill, which means I have to choose a card in my hand and discard it. So they're getting the Prince John combo off here. So I discard, I'm trying to decide, I think. I discard a Teeple, and then they draw a card with Prince John's effect after I discard. So I have 2 cards in hand now. And that was a Teeple that I returned with the Madam Fox. I think I told him it sucks because I really like the Teeple, but I think I have enough ink now to try to go for the win. I don't need Teeple's effect to keep on ramping. He plays he inks a I forgot what that card is called. Oh, he plays a Robin Hood there. He spends another ink to play a Cursed Merfolk. So that Robin Hood's really scary, and he quests with Prince John. So it goes up to 10 here. And yeah, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more possible lore on the table. He can get it to 18 next turn. So he actually can gain a lot of lore. But I gained 4 passive lore with the Queen's Castle there, which is huge. And then I draw 2 cards, 1 for turn and 1 for Mickey at the Queen's Castle. So I think I should be able to make a pretty good comeback here. And we'll see what I do. So I have the Mickey Singer friends on our side, digging for more cards. I think I'm looking for some control cards or something to kind of deal with his board. Because I Robin Hood, whenever it quests, not only does he gain 2 lore, he can look at the top 4 cards of his deck for an action with cost 6 or less, and then play for free. So he could change the entire game there if he gets like a really crucial action. Like a Pirate's Life is what Spessa uses a lot, where you gain 2 lore and the opponent loses 2. So that could make a huge shift and have him potentially win. And I think I have the other Mickey Sing friends again, so I draw another 2 cards here with the other Mickey. And I'm trying to figure out, I do 5 here. I think I hard cast a Let It Go. Yeah, so whenever I play Let It Go, I can put 1 card, 1 character from the board into the ink will face down exerted. So I put that Robin Hood down there because I don't want him triggering his effect. And then I have the Fox take out Prince John now because he's exerted, so I can challenge him, get rid of him, so my opponent stops drawing cards whenever I discard a card. And I spend a few ink there to play another Min Fox, bounce that Min Fox back, and then I challenge into the Flynn Rider here. When I challenge into Flynn, I have to discard a card from hand. I lose Chernobogs. And then I'm feeling pretty good right here because if I can last 2 turns, the Queen's Castle will just get me enough lore. I ink a Chernobogs, spend 2 to move all my characters to the Queen's Castle because it costs 1 to move a character. So I have the Fox at 1 and then 2 Mickeys at the other Queen's Castle there. And I pass over to my opponent. So I think I'm feeling pretty good here. I'm going to gain 4 lore with a Queen's Castle this turn, and I'll gain another 4 next turn, even if they wipe my board. So I'm feeling pretty confident right now. And my opponent is thinking about what they're going to do. I think I show my hand there. I think I have 2 cards in hand. He plays a Maui, so he got the Maui, but I think he said it's a little bit too late. He was a little bit unlucky getting the Maui a little bit late. Maui has Rush, so it takes out the Madam Fox. And then it doesn't have enough damage to take out the Queen's Castle because Maui only has 6 strength. So I think he just went for the Fox there. And then Merfolk Quest for 2. And then he passed it back to me. So I ready all my cards. I gain 4 pass lore with the Queen's Castle, go up to 17, and I draw 3. 2 for Mickey and then 1 for turn, which is huge there. And Mickey can quest for 1 each, so I can go up to 19. But I don't think I have the win in my hand here. So I spend 2, play a Teeple. Oh, I remember what I do here. So whenever Teeple, no, I didn't use Teeple's effect, I just manually inked, and I spent 8 ink to play a Mufasa that I drew, guys. This is the Mufasa debut, and I quest with the Mickey. So it's my first time playing Mufasa. My opponent tells me, wait a minute, Mufasa has an effect when you play him. I was like, what? Oh, and I spent 1 ink to move Mufasa to the Queen's Castle. But whenever you play Mufasa, the ink that I played, you have to exert our ink. Actually, so I misplayed that. I could not have moved Mufasa to the Queen's Castle. I need to ink after I play him. But when you play Mufasa, you have to shuffle up our inkwell and then randomly add 2 cards from inkwell back into your hand. And my opponent asked me to do it that way, to shuffle it and then get split it and get the top card of each stack. So I add 2 cards to my hand here. Yeah, so Mufasa actually should not be at the Queen's Castle. But I got him out. I'm feeling really good right now because I saw the Queen's Castle. He has to take them both out and take out the Mufasa for me to not hit 20. And I think my opponent just concedes here, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, they play another Robin Hood. And yeah, and then I think they just pass here, and I gain the passive lore from the Queen's Castle. Oh no, he's like, I'm gonna go out swing. I'm gonna take out. I remember he was like, I'm gonna take out the Mickey. I was like, what? So he takes out one of the Mickeys. Quest for 2 with the Merfolk, so he gets up to 14, and then he passes there. Yeah, so then I can gain the passive lore with the Queen's Castle when my turn begins, and then that is the game there. So yeah, that is the Mufasa debut. He didn't do anything, but I was able to get him play, which is super duper exciting. And I'm gonna play another game here. I remember, so we're gonna do more testing for his BLURPLE deck here with the Mufasa and the Elsas. But yeah, that was really fun. Definitely the misplay with the Mufasa. I need to remember that when I play him, I have to exert all my ink and then put it into or get 2 cards and put it back in my hand. So we are matched here, and we're facing a Ruby Sapphire deck. And Ruby Sapphire is pretty scary because they ramp up hard as well with Sapphire. And then the Ruby control is really scary because I love playing Ruby with the Be Prepared and just being able to hyper control the opponent. And but this time, my opponent's gonna be the one that has more control than I do because they're playing Ruby, and I am just playing Amethyst. So we're shuffling up here, and man, everyone has really cool mats. My opponent here has a cool Pokemon mat here. I think that's so. I am not super in tune with Pokemon after like Generation 4, but that looks like a Latios. I think it's probably like a an evolution of what's that called? A Mega Evolution of Latios or Latias? I'm not sure. And then we Oh, this is actually my first game ever doing, instead of doing a half cut, we do 3 here. And I also asked my opponent, so huge shout outs to uh, Darkseed for allowing me to post this game on YouTube. Yeah, everyone is super duper friendly. And I think we're talking about something. Oh yeah, I remember this game kind of starts a little bit late because he asked me something. Oh yeah, we're talking about Marvel Champions, guys. I know if you're watching this video, you're probably only a Lorcana player and you don't know what Marvel Champions is. My channel is split from Marvel Champions and Lorcana. These are my 2 favorite games right now. And yeah, he was asking about my YouTube channel, and I was telling him that I play Marvel Champions, and he was like, "I know what that is." And I said, "That's crazy." So yeah, shout out to you, Darcy, if you're watching this right now. Yeah, I love Marvel Champions. I love Lorcana too. So that's kind of what this channel is all about. And we do our mulligans after after shuffling everything. All right. And And then, let's see, so my opponent's gonna mulligan some cards. And oh, I think I mulligan everything here. Um, yeah, I think I mulligan, yeah, all 7 because I only have 2 T-pos in the deck. I didn't get either T-po. And I feel like based on the last game, I really need T-po to get going here. And we have a very low chance of getting them. I want to add 4. So definitely whenever I get 2 more T-pos, I'm going to add them both in and get the max 4 T-pos. But because we don't have any, I'm mulligan all 7 cards here to try to really get a T-po. I think that's the most important thing right now, to get that early ramp on turn 2. But one thing that I feel pretty good about, though, is that my opponent is playing also a slower ramp deck, right, with Ruby Sapphire. So while they're ramping, I can also take my time ramping. And hopefully it's not going to, like, me taking my time to ramp is not going to get the opponent to, like, 10 lore or something like that, right? So since we're both going to be ramping here. I remember my opponent told me that they actually had a really, really funky hand. A funky mulligan after, like, mulligan all their cards. So they are the first player for this game, and I think it's random who goes first on Pixelborn Connect, but whoever has that green box is going to be the player that goes first. So my opponent is going to ink that card, and they pass. And I'm not sure what the card is. Oh, I remember, I think I drew into a Popsicle here, which is really good, so I can play that turn 1 Popsicle. And that's kind of what you want to go for whenever you're running Popsicle, but I may take them out when I put in the rabbits and take out the flower sham as well. So I play a Popsicle and I can draw a card. And then my opponent's asking me what Bruni does, the card that I inked. It's a new card from Shimmering Sky, so set 5. It's 2/2, quest for 2 with evasive, and whenever it's banished, I can draw a card. So I pass over to my opponent, and then they draw for turn. Yeah, Popsicle was huge for me. They ink a Tamatoa, and they play a 1 jump ahead, and they get some more ramp there. So they're up to 3 ink to my 1, and I draw for turn here. And normally whenever I play games, I love building. So that's kind of why I switched over to Sapphire, because I feel like building out my ink is going to be a very fun way for me to play. So I ink a Cusco there. I remember telling my opponent, I don't think you have many locations, right? So I'm going to ink this Cusco, because Cusco can get rid of a location in play. And I spend 2 to play the Tipo. I got super lucky. I was able to get that Tipo in my mulligan hand. So when I play Tipo, I can put a card from my hand into my ink wall, face down and exerted. And I think I do that, yeah. So I get the 3 ink here as well, kind of matching my opponent's 3 ink. And then Tipo's ink is drying, so he cannot do anything. So I think I'm just going to pass her to my opponent. They ready up, draw for turn. And then, so what they do, they ink a Maui here. And they play a Fishbone Quill. So they exert it to put a card from their hand into ink wall face down. They do it face up. It doesn't matter that much. And they play another 1 jump ahead. So to get more ink, they're up to, how much ink do they have now? I think they have like 6 here or something. So they told me that after they did their mulligans, they got 3 1 jump aheads, guys. So that's a little bit unfortunate for them. Yeah, so because they got so many of that, they're kind of stuck with uninkable cards. But now they ramped up to 6 ink here. I think it's turn 3 right now. Yeah, so they got a lot of ink and a lot of stuff to play with those Ruby cards. But a very slow start for them. But luckily for them, I also started really slow because I'm playing Sapphire as well. I didn't get any lore so far. They don't have any lore, but it's good for me too that they didn't get lore, right? So we're both just kind of ramping up and see who can match out with more ramp. So I manually ink a Merlin Crab here, and then I spend 4, and I play a Hiram. Awesome. So I can banish the Popsicle when you're here and display, and then draw 2. So I'm getting my draw power up, and then I just quest here the Tipo because they don't have a character, so they can't take out the Tipo, so I might as well just quest with them. They draw for turn, ready up all their cards. They play, yeah, I don't know what that card is, guys. I will post a card here, though, so you guys see what it is. I think they add 1 card to their hand. They can look at the top 4 cards of the deck, add 1 to your hand, and put the rest of the on their deck. Yeah, I think that's something like Vision of the Future, something like that, some sort of action. And then they spend 3 to play a Sisu. That baby Sisu, when it enters play, it can banish a character with 1 attack or less. So Hiram's already gone there, which is really good for them. But the Hiram still did his job. I think my opponent's telling me here, it was still really good for the Hiram to enter play and then draw me 2 cards by banishing the Popsicle. And I agree. I mean, if Hiram could just enter play and do his thing, that's already really good. I had another Popsicle in hand here. That's why I really wanted to keep the Hiram alive to just quest, so I could banish another Popsicle and draw 2 more. But it's completely okay that the Hiram got banished there. Yeah, Hiram's a pretty big target. So I quest with the Tipo. The Sisu has evasive also. I think I quest because I think I'm planning on bouncing him back here to try to ramp up a little bit harder. I have 4 ink to my opponent's 6, and they did not ink this turn. I didn't realize that. Probably because they want to hold on to more cards in hand. So I spend 2 to play a Madam Snake, which I play I can bounce the character back to my hand. So I bounce Teeple. I spend 2, play the Teeple back down, and use Teeple's effect again to put a card in my inkwell face down and exert it. Do I do that? I think I do that. Yeah, so I use Teeple's effect, and then do I manually ink as well? Maybe I even don't. Maybe I don't even manually ink here because I might want to hold on to more cards in my hand. So I'm up to 5 ink. And my opponent doesn't get to see the card that I use. Yeah, so I manually ink the Amethyst Chromicon, which is for Hiram, but Hiram's gone anyway, so I don't need any more items, and I don't want my opponent to draw because they're playing Ruby. So if they get their card draw up, I think that they would destroy me. So I told him I'm gonna ink that, and he's like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. He quests with Sisu because it has evasive, and he inks a card and he passes it back to me. I draw for turn, and I cannot challenge the Sisu because both my characters do not have evasive here. I think I just probably quest with both of them. That'll probably be the best play. And I think I'm thinking here, I really want to draw Elsa the Fifth Spirit because she has evasive and she could take out that Sisu so they don't shift. So I spend 4 ink here. And I play a Merlin Goat here. So I gain 1 lore when he enters play. Whenever the Merlin Goat leaves play, I can also gain another lore. So Merlin Goat's going to help me get a lot of lore here. And I think I remember thinking here, I'm digging for a location in my deck. If I can play a location, that would be huge right now because my opponent does not have any cards. I remember he told me he has really bad luck right now with his hand. So he didn't really get much. If I can just get a location into play and get that passive lore, get some card draw with it, if it's like the Queen's Castle, then that'd be really big for me. I think I'm deciding what to do. Yeah, so I manually ink another Teeple. Those are both the Teeples I have in the deck, so I got really lucky that I drew both of them. And I hard cast a Friends on their sides with the 3 ink, and I draw 2 cards with Friends' effect. And I think I just pass here, go to 7 ink, and then, yeah, pass over to my opponent. So my opponent draws for turn, and I'm scared for that big shift Sisu. But fortunately, whenever you play that Sisu, you banish all opposing characters with 2 attack or less. The Snake has 3 attack, Goat has 4. And my opponent quests with their Sisu and then just hard casts Be Prepared, which banishes all my characters, all characters in play. And when the Goat leaves play, I can gain 1 lore because the Goat just left play. Yeah, so that was, yeah, I think that's why I didn't commit more to the board because I was thinking about the Be Prepared and I was a little bit scared of it. So that's kind of why I didn't play another character there and I just played the Friends to get my card draw up instead. Yeah, I remember thinking that. So I'm glad that I did that. And I play a Mickey here. When Mickey enters play, I can get the top card of my deck into my inkwell face down exerted, and I spend 4 to play another Goat here. So I don't want to commit too hard because if they play another Be Prepared, then that'll be bad for me. When Goat enters play, I can gain a lore. So I have a few cards left in my hand there. I think I have like 3 or something like that. They play Medusa, banishes a character with 3 attack or less, destroy my Mickey, and they pass their turn. So they're getting to their really powerful Ruby cards right now. I draw for turn. They're up to 8 ink. I have 7 here. No, I have 8. I think I forgot to update my ink here on Pixelborn Connect. And I remember, oh yeah, I think I remember here. I think I drew I topped like the Queen's Castle. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, when do I play it? Do I play it now or do I wait a turn? Actually, I think I drew it maybe last turn. And then I decided to go with the Mickey and the Goat here to get some more board presence. But it played Medusa. No, I remember now. I top deck the Queen's Castle here. And I decided to not play it because the Medusa can challenge 4 into the castle. And I don't, if they play like a Maui, they can just take the castle out. I want the castle to stay alive. So I decided I want to take down their Medusa first. So I spend 5 to play Elsa for Spirit, which I can exert opposing characters. So I exert the Medusa, play the Fox, return Goat to hand, gain a lore. Fox takes out the Medusa here. So I'm planning on playing that Queen's Castle here next turn because I don't want my opponent to take it out. They draw for turn, play a Popsicle, draw a card, and they play another Mad Medusa, banishes the Elsa with only 2 attack. So that's a really good counter for Elsa there, the 5th Spirit. Even though she's 5 cost, she only has 2 attacks, so Medusa can banish her on play. And I'm stuck with the same situation as before. Should I play this Queen's Castle here or not? Let me know down in the comments if you guys would have played it last turn or this turn. But I believe this turn I go for it here. I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend 4, play the Queen's Castle. If I can just get some passive lore with that, I might be able to get a huge advantage here. And I think I spend 4 to play Merlin Goat. And again, lore when it enters play, I ink. So the Elsa. So I go up to 9 ink and I update my ink there because it should have been 8 and now 9. But I kind of forgot to update it there. And I pass to my opponent. Or I spend 1 ink to move Merlin. And then he's like, sorry, man, I had this in my hand for your Queen's Castle. He plays a Cusco, Whenever a Kusko enters play, you can choose a location or item, put it into that player's ink while phase unexerted. So I lose my Queen's Castle here right when I played it. Probably should have anticipated that Cusco there, but I still felt really greedy and wanted to get that castle down. But now I have 10 ink. And once again, I forget to update my ink. I have to remember to update my ink for these future plays. And they quest here with the Medusa for 1. And then I think they asked how many cards I had in my hand, so I showed them. I don't even know how many I have right now. I'm at the 10 ink though, so I can do a lot. Goat will quest here for 1. And I think I do some bouncing shenanigans here to try to get my lore up, because I no longer have the locations to gain the passive lore. So I have to find a way to get my lore up. So I spend 3. I play a fox, bounce the goat back, gain 1 lore when the goat leaves play. And then I spend 4. I think I must play a goat back down here, right? Yeah, play a goat back down, gain another lore, go to 13. And then I'm still weary of the be prepared here, right? Because if I get really high up, even though they have a better board presence, they might just be prepared to take everything out. So I think I just hold whatever I have in my hand and then pass over to my opponent. My characters aren't exerted, so they cannot challenge me. I'm going to try to just keep it that way. They spend 4 ink 2 times for Cusco's effect. Cusco, you can spend, I think, a certain amount of ink and then give all your characters resist 1. So they give the Medusa resist 2 now because they spend 8 ink and they quest with both characters. And it go up to 6. And they just don't want me to take out the Medusa. I don't think I want to take it out anyways. I think I want to just gun lore right here, right? Because I'm up to 13, and with the goat, I have so much more versatility of things that I can do. Because when the goat enters play and leaves play, I can gain a lore, right? So I spend 4 here. I play another goat, go up to 14. Quest with both characters that are whose inks have dried. The goat I played has not dried with their ink. So I get to 16 lore here. I'm really, really close to the finish line. I just have to gun it there. I play a snake for 2 ink. I can bounce a goat back. I think, I remember, because I have a fox in hand. So I bounce my fox back, spend 3 to play the fox back down to get goat back and get another ink. And the reason why I did that was because I wanted all my characters to not be exerted. I don't want them to be challenged. If they could get challenged, then maybe my opponent could take it out more easily. But now they have to play a be prepared to take it out. And I think they just concede here because they don't have anything yet. And I had the goat in hand there. And we're just kind of messing around here. I checked the top card of my deck, which is Let It Go, which wouldn't necessarily help me out that much right now. But yeah, that was another game. Huge shouts to Darkseid here. But yeah, that was a super duper fun game. And I'm just seeing all the cards I had left on top of my deck. And yeah, I think we're just kind of talking about what we could have done differently. Oh yeah, I'm explaining to him how I don't have 4 Merlin rabbits in my deck. He's like, what? That's crazy. He was telling me how he had the 3 1-jump aheads in his first turn whenever he mulliganed. And I was like, that is crazy. Yeah, that's just really terrible luck for that. And yeah, right now I'm using the Huron and Popsicles to get my draw power because I don't have the rabbits. But I think I want to take out the Hurons after I get the rabbits. But I'm not sure that's a play, guys. Let me know what you guys think. If Huron's better, if I should keep both. But I think definitely Rabbit is the play because I have the full bounce package with Madam Mim Snake and Madam Mim Fox. I only have 3 foxes though, so I am also trying to get 1 more. And I get up to the silver tier here, which is really cool. So I graduate up to silver. We start on wood on Pixelborn Connect. I went up to bronze, and now this is my game that I got up to silver. So yeah, I think the BLURPLE deck's having a lot more success than my Frozen Control deck. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.